Welcome to Wildlife in Focus. The Northern Hemisphere hosts one of the most widespread and adaptable large mammals on Earth. The brown bear, Ursus arctos, occupies a wider geographic range than any other bear species. From North America to Europe and deep into Asia, this animal has learned to survive in environments that vary dramatically in climate, food availability, and human presence. Despite its size and power, the brown bear is not a specialist. It succeeds because it can adjust. It can eat almost anything, tolerate extreme seasonal changes, and modify its behavior in response to its surroundings. This flexibility has allowed the species to persist where many others have disappeared. Yet while the brown bear is widespread, its future is uncertain. Some populations are stable, others are declining, and a few are critically endangered. To understand why, we must first understand the bear itself. Adult males are the largest individuals within the species. Size varies depending on habitat and food supply. Coastal bears, particularly those with access to salmon, tend to grow larger than inland bears. Males have broader skulls, thicker necks, and more pronounced muscle mass, especially in the shoulders and forelimbs. Females are smaller and lighter than males, though they share the same general structure. This difference in size is typical among bears and reflects reproductive demands. Females must allocate significant energy to gestation, nursing, and raising cubs, which can last several years. Brown bear cubs are born blind and nearly hairless during winter dormancy. At birth, they weigh less than 1 kilogram. Over time, they develop thick fur and begin to resemble smaller versions of the adults. Cubs stay with their mother for up to 3 years, learning how to forage, avoid danger, and navigate their environment. Brown bears are omnivores with an extremely varied diet. What they eat depends largely on season and location. Plant matter often makes up the majority of their annual intake. This includes grasses, sedges, roots, berries, nuts, and seeds. In spring, bears feed heavily on fresh vegetation. In summer and autumn, they focus on high-energy foods such as berries and nuts to build fat reserves. Some foods are more difficult to catch than others. These brown bears supplement their diet with fish, but catching one is a tricky skill to master. Sometimes, though, it's easier to wait for the fish to come to you. Animal food sources include insects, fish, carrion, and mammals. In coastal regions, salmon can become a dominant food source, providing protein and fat that support rapid weight gain. Inland bears may hunt small mammals or scavenge carcasses left by other predators. This dietary flexibility is one of the key reasons the brown bear has survived across such a wide range of environments. Brown bears inhabit a broad array of ecosystems. They can be found in boreal forests, temperate woodlands, alpine regions, tundra, and even arid landscapes such as the Gobi Desert. What matters most is access to food, space, and seasonal shelter. Bears often require large home ranges, especially in areas where food is scarce or widely dispersed. In regions with abundant resources, home ranges may be smaller and overlapping. Human disturbance plays a major role in habitat quality. Bears tend to avoid areas with frequent human activity, though some populations have adapted to living near people, often leading to conflict. Brown bears are generally solitary animals. Adults usually interact only during the breeding season or when competing for food. Females with cubs form the most stable social unit within the species. Activity patterns vary. In remote areas, bears may be active during daylight hours. In areas with human presence, they often become more nocturnal. Brown bears rely primarily on body language and scent marking for communication. Vocal sounds are used in specific situations. These include grunts, huffs, growls, and moans. These sounds are not complex calls, but serve immediate purposes such as warning, submission, or distress. Mating occurs from late spring to early summer. After fertilization, the embryo enters a delayed implantation phase. Development resumes only if the female accumulates sufficient fat reserves. Cubs are born during winter dormancy, usually in January or February. A litter typically consists of 1 to 3 cubs. The mother nurses them in the den until spring, when they emerge to begin learning survival skills. Brown bears can live over 20 years in the wild, though lifespan varies with environmental conditions and human pressure. Brown bears are among the largest land mammals. Adult body length typically ranges from 1.5 to nearly 3 meters. Shoulder height can exceed 1 meter when standing on all fours. Weight varies greatly. Smaller inland bears may weigh under 100 kilograms, while large coastal males can exceed 600 kilograms. Seasonal weight fluctuation is significant, with bears gaining large amounts of fat before winter dormancy. Their strength is considerable, supported by dense bones, powerful muscles, and long claws adapted for digging and foraging, rather than pursuit hunting. Adults have few natural predators. Their size and strength make them largely invulnerable. However, cubs are more vulnerable. Wolves, large cats in some regions, and even other bears may prey on young cubs. Infanticide by adult males can occur, often related to reproductive competition. The most significant source of mortality for brown bears today is human activity. Historically, brown bears were divided into many different species based on size, color, and geography. Modern genetic research has clarified these relationships. DNA evidence shows that while regional populations differ in appearance and behavior, they share a common evolutionary origin and remain genetically compatible. As a result, they are now grouped under a single species, Ursus arctos, with subspecies designations used mainly for management and description. Let's take a look at each of the different subspecies. Grizzlies inhabit inland regions of North America. They are generally smaller than coastal brown bears, largely due to differences in diet. Their appearance often includes lighter-tipped fur, though this is not universal. Found only on the Kodiak archipelago in Alaska, Zodiac bears are among the largest bears in the world. This is due to a combination of over 10,000 years of genetic isolation, an abundant, high-protein diet, and a lack of competition, a phenomenon known as island gigantism. The Eurasian Brown Bear occupies much of Europe and northern Asia. Size and coloration vary widely. Many European populations are small and fragmented, making conservation particularly important. Native to eastern Russia, the Kamchatka Brown Bears are large and heavily built, thanks to the rich coastal food sources available to them. Their ecology closely resembles that of other coastal brown bears. The Gobi bear lives in one of the harshest environments occupied by any bear. It survives in desert conditions with limited water and food. Genetic isolation and extremely low numbers make this population one of the most endangered large mammals on Earth. The brown bear is not defined by a single landscape or behavior. It is defined by adaptability. From frozen coasts to dry deserts, this species has endured by adapting to the environment's conditions. Its future, however, is increasingly shaped by human decisions. Protection, tolerance, and scientific management will determine whether this ancient animal continues to roam vast wild spaces or becomes confined to isolated remnants of its former range. The story of the brown bear is still being written, not by nature alone, but by how humanity chooses to share the world with it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then you might also like to take a look at this one next. Additionally, if you enjoy our channel, we invite you to consider becoming a member. On average, we release videos to our members several months ahead of their release to the general public. See you next time.